sad. The holidays are over and I can't stop thinking about all the food my family cooked up. I need to be released from this food hold. To make it worse, I'm making a whole video dedicated on movies and shows that I like that deal with food. So if I'm craving, you're gonna be craving too. We're in this together. The structure I'm gonna follow for this video is going to be from most known TV show or movie to least known. Then before we start this discussion, I want to do a one sentence plot because I was looking back at my old videos and I pretty much just talked about the plot. That's how I'm gonna work on that. Anyways, let's go ahead and munch on this video. To start off, we're gonna talk about The Bear. It is a story of a man that takes over his deceased brother's rundown restaurant with not so welcoming employees. This show I would consider more of a drama. It does a great job at demonstrating all the challenges running a restaurant brings. It has really funny but deeply realistic characters. It's a binge-worthy show that dives deeper into the food business. You will find yourself disliking most, if not all, of the characters, but that's the beauty of this show. In reality, humans are messy, confused, and egocentric, especially when it comes to navigating new things in their life, even more so if it's an uncomfortable situation. The point of the show is to demonstrate growth in skills you didn't think were important and forming bonds with people who are the complete opposite of you. It all comes together in the end through the passion you share for food and the shared dream you have for each other. Definitely give this show a watch. I highly recommend it. Second on our list is The Great British Bake Off, which, if you can't tell already, is a competitive baking show, wholesomely competitive baking show that will trigger your sweet tooth through the craftsmanship of baked goods. There's not much to say about this show except that it doesn't have any rough edges. It's a show you watch when you want actual friendly competition. All the contestants and the judges are kind, silly, and completely wholesome. Anyways, it does an excellent job at introducing you to new desserts and the many variations people can create with that dessert. If one day you decide you want to space away from the cutthroat, stress-inducing cooking competition shows you normally watch, then The Great British Bake Off would be an amazing segue for that. Next is Good Eats, and I've been dying to talk about the show because not a lot of people know about the show. It combines everything I could ever want. I love asking questions. If I don't understand something, I just keep asking questions and I ask more questions until I get it. This show just questions answered. Cooking skilled, leveled up. Sim bar filled. Anyways, it's a show that introduces Alton Brown. He is a food scientist, as that is how the show would describe it, and he teaches you the hows and whys of a specific dish and how to cook it. I enjoy this show, as I said before, because it is educational. He begins each episode with a certain dish, then he'll show you why he's using specific ingredients, where the dish originates from, and etc.
Etc.
What really fascinates me is the camera work and the cooking environment. It's very natural. It feels like you're in a home, in somebody's home, which in turn makes this show feel so inviting, warm, and welcoming. Kind of like a relative teaching you their secret recipes. I highly recommend this, especially if you are learning how to cook. Second to last, we have The Chef of South Polar. Polar? It is a real story of 8 men who are living in Antarctica for a year. And despite their longing to be home, they try to make the best of it through food. What I really loved about this movie is the creativity when making meals, knowing that your ingredients are restricted. I also enjoyed the rawness of the movie. You catch a glimpse of each individual's life and it's almost like you're feeling it too. And sometimes the feelings are really sad because, well, you're isolated from what you know. Anyways, the loneliness, the anger, the laughter, the craziness, it does such a good job at demonstrating all of that and more. I also feel that the comedic portions of this film might go over some people's heads, mostly because if they haven't experienced Japan or know anything about Japanese culture, it's just something that would be a barrier for you because you wouldn't get it. You wouldn't get it. And this is not to say you shouldn't watch it. I'm saying this because if you do watch it and you feel confused, don't feel bad about it. And yeah, just take it as an opportunity to research on why they did certain things. That way you can also learn and appreciate and laugh at the dynamic of these 8 men. It is a very relatable movie, and I can feel the desperation of the situation they're in, but I can also feel the relief they feel as soon as they take a bite of their warm meal while being stuck in such a cold place. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this recommendation. Lastly, East Side Sushi. This movie is about a Latina single mother who tries to pick up the culinary art of Japanese sushi making, and by doing so, challenges many cultural and gender barriers. I do want to say that this movie really hit home for me. There are a lot of similarities that I saw between the main character and my parents. The hard work, the dedication, and the resilience to crave and follow a path that would bring you a better life, which is why this movie has easily become a favorite of mine. This movie demonstrates very well the difference between two cultures and how when meshing them together, there will be some that refuse that fusion and others that wholeheartedly welcome it. I also love the food prep and cooking. This movie has one of the best food prep and cooking scenes. They show you everything from coming up with the idea to choosing the ingredients, prepping them, and even serving it. It was also interesting seeing that the focus is Mexican, Japanese fusion sushi because there's a lot of history of Mexico and Japan being inspired by each other to come up with food and snacks. So I just really like that it brought together real history of Japanese and Mexican fusion foods, and it just gave me that full circle feeling. It's a full circle moment. Overall, this movie made me want to work harder for the things I want. The last movie, it really hit home for me, mostly because I'm Mexican. I'm part of the Latina community, Latina community, and from what's happening today, it really hurts my heart. And although I am a small creator and it's very likely the algorithm won't pick up my video, I am part of this community and I want to be a voice as much as I can be. The best way I can explain my thoughts would be through forgotten or unknown history. So there was a time around the 1910s where US employers encouraged immigration from Mexico, going as far as asking Mexico's president if they can send more workers to meet their industrial agricultural demands. Of course, for work and better opportunities, people from Mexico immigrated to the US, right? If the US is inviting them in, what could possibly go wrong? It's obvious they're wanted here. It didn't stay that way because then the Great Depression hit, and despite the help and labor Mexican immigrants provided, when the US didn't need it anymore, they decided to detain and deport all Mexicans, even those who were born in the US, and they did so simply because they didn't need them anymore. These deportations even extended to those who simply looked Mexican or shared a family name. This is just one instance in Latino history, because Mexicans don't fully represent Latina culture and the community. But this is something that, since I can relate to, I wanted to speak about. I truly believe history repeats itself. I also believe the Latino community has been widely unrepresented. Most of Latino history in the US isn't in textbooks. And how will people be able to know what's right from wrong if they're not taught the history behind it? The silver lining, it isn't as extreme. The bottom line, though, it isn't good enough. Now, take unrepresented communities, those whose history is not in the books. They can't even say, at least it isn't as bad as before. They can't even be proud of America for trying. In the end, that's all that matters, trying. Trying as a community, as a country, to move forwards and not backwards. If this resonates with you, or if you have been impacted, then I'm sorry I cannot offer you more. I can only offer you my empathy and my support, and I hope you make it through this. I hope all of us make it through this, even those who aren't affected by it. I just think we need to do a little better. If this is an uncomfortable topic for you or you disagree, then I first want to say I'm proud of you for watching my video and at least listening. It doesn't have to change your mind, and we don't have to agree. We don't even need to fight. I'm just happy for the opportunity to speak and to be listened to. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. Bye.